Carnivore versus vegan may be one of the most exhausting arguments on the internet, which is impressive because the internet also contains politics, CrossFit comment sections, and people who still believe detox tea is a liver with Wi Fi. On one side, you have the carnivore crowd, proudly declaring that meat is the ancestral answer to everything from autoimmune diseases to depression to why your deadlift feels emotionally unavailable. And then on the other side, you have the vegan crowd, explaining that plants are the future, meat is murder, and your burger has personally contributed to planetary collapse, moral decay, and possibly your uncle's sleep apnea. And somewhere in the middle is the normal person standing in a grocery store holding a rotisserie chicken in one hand and a bag of spinach in the other, wondering if the dinner now requires a philosophical defense team. That is a problem. Diets have stopped being tools. They become identities. They become religions with macros. And once a diet becomes a religion, the food is no longer just food. It is proof that you are disciplined, enlightened, ethical, primal, evolved, metabolically superior, spiritually cleaner, or somehow the only person at Thanksgiving brave enough to understand insulin. And this is where everyone starts to lose their minds. Because the real question should not be which diet tribe wins, the real question should be what systems helps this specific human improve health, performance, adherence, and adaptability right now. And that is much less sexy than plants are poison or meat is murder, but is also much less stupid. But unfortunately, much of the diet culture is built on the level of certainty and usually reserved for cult leaders, crypto bros, and men explaining cold plunges at parties. So let's start this off with something important. People do not usually become carnivore or vegan because they are idiots. They usually do it because something is not working. They are inflamed, tired, overweight, underfed, bloated, sick, metabolically broken, emotionally exhausted, or just tired of trying 14 different balanced diets that somehow all ended with them eating cereal over the sink at 11:43 p.m. like a raccoon with a mortgage. Extreme diets are attractive because they simplify chaos. Carnivore says remove almost everything, eat only animal foods. Stop worrying about plants and fiber and seed oils, lectins, oxalates, food maps, and whatever other new villain got elected by the podcast Senate this week. And the vegans will say, well, if you remove animal foods, build your diet around plants, improve ethics, sustainability, fiber intake, and reduce reliance on foods associated with overconsumption and chronic disease patterns. Both will offer clarity, both offer rules and a community, and when you feel lost, rules feel like a rescue. And that is why people defend diets like they defend sports teams, religions, and parking spaces at Costco. Because the diet did not just change what they ate, they gave them a story. I was broken until I found this. That is a powerful story. But there's a problem with all that. A personal rescue story is not the same as a universal law of biology. Look, carnivore can work for some people. There, everyone breathe. Nobody throw out a ribeye or a lentil. Now, for some people, carnivore functions as an extreme elimination diet. Think of it like an extreme keto in a way. It removes ultra processed food, alcohol, sugar, many common gut triggers, many high food map foods, and the endless snack swamp that most modern humans fall into every evening like it's a patriarch duty. If someone goes from pizza, beer, donuts, chips, drive through meals, and I technically ate a vegetable because there was a lettuce near my burger, to steak, eggs, salt, and water, yes, they're going to feel dramatically better. That's not shocking. It's not mystical. It's not proof that broccoli is a government psyop. It means removing a ton of dietary noise can improve symptoms, energy intake, blood sugar control, adherence. High protein diets can be very effective for satiety, muscle retention, body composition. Animal foods are nutrient dense. Meat contains a complete protein, iron, B12, zinc, creatine, and other nutrients that truly matter for a lot of us. So the carnivore crowd is not wrong that animal foods can be useful. They are wrong when they turn usefulness into absolute dogma. Because this helped me is very different than saying all plants are trying to assassinate your pancreas. And that is where the wheels come off the meat wagon. On the flip side of this, vegan diets can also work extremely well for some people. A well designed vegan or plant based diet can be high in fiber, rich in micronutrients, lower in saturated fat, and built around foods that support cardiovascular and metabolic health. For someone who basically and previously lived on bacon cheeseburgers, gas station snacks, and energy drinks with names like Nuclear Goblin, moving to beans and vegetables and fruit and whole grains and newts and legumes may be a very massive upgrade for you. Plant based diets can also align with ethical concerns around animals and environmental concerns around food systems. Those motivations are very real. You do not have to agree with every vegan argument to recognize that some people are trying to reduce harm. So the problem is not about eating plants. The problem is when veganism becomes a purity contest where your worth as a human is measured by how emotionally devastated you are by cheese. Because vegan diets require planning, and protein quality matters, total protein matters, B12 matters, iron, zinc, iodine, omega 3s, creatine, and overall energy intake can matter, especially for athletes, you can absolutely build a very healthy vegan diet. But pretending it is automatically healthy because it is vegan is nonsense. A vegan cupcake is still a cupcake. It just comes with moral confidence and sometimes worse frosting. And by the way, just so you're all aware of, I have actually done these both. So not for just like a few weeks, actually for several months at a time, just to test them to see how well my own systems react to it, right? So going back into this again, the real problem is not about being a carnivore, being a vegan. The problem is diet religion. It's not just these diets, but any diet. You don't want to make them a religion. Once a diet becomes like your identity, you stop asking useful questions around it. You're going to stop asking, is this working? Is my performance improving? In my labs moving in the right direction? Can I recover? Can I sustain? Is it helping my gut, sleep, mood, energy training? Does this fit the season of my life? Instead, you're going to ask, how do I defend my tribe? And that's when people start doing Olympic level mental gymnastics. A carnivore person gets high LDL, poor sleep, declining performance, constipation. That sounds like a hostage situation and says this is a time for detox. The vegan person is exhausted, under muscle, craving everything not nailed down, saying, I just need more moral fiber and nutritional yeast. No, sometimes those systems just need adjustments. It's not about failure, it's about coaching, it's about health. It's about adaptation with what you're trying to do. Your diet should not require you to lie to yourself to stay loyal to it. And that's part of the whole point of regarding Forged in Health, my next book in my series. And it's making a diet a system, a framework, a tool for creating an outcome. The outcome might be fat loss, muscle gain, metabolic health, better digestion, improved endurance, better blood markers, reduced symptoms, more stable energy, or simply not feeling like your body is being operated by a committee of angry possums. But tools are supposed to be used, not worshiped. The hammer is useful, but if you try to solve every problem with a hammer, eventually you just got a guy smashing a toaster with calling it carpentry. Carnivore is a tool. Vegan is a tool. Low carb is a tool. Mediterranean, hard carb endurance, elimination diets, fasting, tracking macros, intuitive eating, all tools. None of them are the final boss of human nutrition. So ask yourself, what job does this tool need to do right now? And that makes the difference between being a diet dogma and diet strategy. When you look at it, performance makes the nutrition honest. So you look at these diets, you want to try and make sure they're honest because your body eventually will vote yes or no what is working, what is not. You can argue online forever, but your training log is harder to gaslight. If your diet makes you leaner, but your training collapse, matters. If your diet improves digestion but destroys your strength, that matters. If your diet improves endurance but leaves you constantly hungry and under recovered, that also matters. Performance is not just your race times and PRs, it's also your ability to live and train and think and recover and work and remain useful under stress. That is the Forge Grit lens that we try to really focus in on. Health is not a static identity, it's adaptability. Good diet should make you more capable, not loyal, not smug. You're more capable. That means the right diet may change. The diet that helps you lose 80, 40 pounds may not be the diet that helps you train for an ultra marathon. The diet that claims your gut during a flare may not be the diet that supports heavy strength training. The diet that works during a stressful work season may not be the diet that works during a high volume training block. That's not inconsistency, that's adaptation to what you need. In Forged in Health, the point is not to hand people one perfect diet, because one perfect diet does not exist. The point is to teach people how to think. And that is where the health compass comes in. Instead of asking, am I carnivore or vegan, you're asking yourself, what direction am I trying to move? Do I need better metabolic control, more protein, more carbs, less dietary irritation, better micronutrient density, maybe some more fiber today, maybe some less restriction, more structure, flexibility, better adherence? A diet shouldn't be judged by the direction it's going to move you, not by whether strangers on the internet clap for your grocery card. This is where both carnivore and vegan communities can teach something useful. Carnivore teaches the value of simplification, protein, satiety, removing dietary noise. Vegan and plant-based approaches that teach the value of fiber and food quality, plant diversity, ethics, long-term health considerations. The mature move is not picking a tribe and tattooing it on your personality. The mature move is asking, what is useful here? So, who's going to win in the battle of carnivore versus vegan? And what is going to be the most useful? Neither. And also sometimes both. That's annoying, I know, but biology is annoying. Biology is basically a group project where every organ has different priorities and nobody reads the syllabus. Carnivore can be useful. Vegan can be useful. Both can be done well. Both can also be done terribly wrong. Both can improve your health in the right context. Both can be restrictive, obsessive, underplanned, and disconnected from performance. The winner should not be the diet. The winner is the person who can use the diet as a tool without becoming owned by it. That's sovereignty for yourself. That is the bigger point. You should be able to change your nutrition when your life changes, when your training changes, when your health changes, when digestion, blood work, and goals change all the time. When reality walks into the room and body slams your perfect plan through a folding table, if your diet cannot adapt to that, it is not a system, it is a cage with meal prep. And that is why I am writing Fortune Health, because health is not built by finding the one sacred protocol and defending it until everyone at dinner stops inviting you. Health is built by learning how the body adapts to stress, food, training, sleep, disease, age, to your seasons of life that do not care about your ideal macro split. The carnivore versus vegan war is not really about meat or plants, it's about certainty. People want certainty because health is confusing. Pain is confusing. Fatigue is confusing. Performance is confusing. When someone offers a simple answer, it's going to feel like a rescue. But simple answers can become poisons. The goal is not to become a carnivore or a vegan. The goal should be about becoming harder to break, more capable, more adaptable, more honest, more skilled at reading your body without being ruled by every craving and symptom, an influencer, or blood markers panic spiral. Eat in a way that supports the life you are trying to build. Measure what matters, adjust when reality changes, and stop treating lunch like a holy war. Because if your diet requires you to believe everyone else is stupid, weak, immoral, and metabolically doomed, there's a chance you did not find the truth. You found a tribe. And tribes are powerful. But tools build, religions defend. Use the tool, build the body, keep the compass. That is your health.